Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, Scott Hammond in the 100% Humboldt podcast with my new best friend, my old best friend, Anthony Mantova. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Can you hear me okay without headphones?
Man, I got these invisible headphones from Bose.
Those are cool.
$4.99 for them, available at your local music store. Good stuff.
What,
Very comfy.
What music store would that be?
That'd be Mantova's 2 Street Music.
All right, we'll do plenty of shout-outs.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a website and stuff?
We do. It's mtsmusic.com.
Well, we're just and by the way, brought to you by, great to have you. So
yeah, it's good
could
to
I
be
go
here.
back a couple of years?
Many, many years. I think we first met at B&I, and for months and months, I wasn't going to join B&I until somebody would just buy me a sandwich. And you, Scott Hammond, bought me an incredible Reuben, if I remember right.
Wow. Okay. I don't remember that, but I'm a very generous individual, so that had to be me.
Yeah.
So
thanks for that.
Sometimes remember that, all my kids out there.
Yeah.
So tell us, who are you? What do you do, first of all?
Well, I work in music retail. My brothers and I bought Mantova's 2 Street Music. At the time, of course, it was called 2 Street Music.
Mm-hmm.
Started in Old Town, Eureka in 1978, and we bought it in 2009.
Oh,
and
9. Wow.
We bought it from Kip Bradford. And then 10 years prior to that, he bought it from Russ Krause.
Russ Krause,
And of course, you know Russ, he has the pawn shop up the street.
The biggest one up the street in the world.
Yep. And it has a beautiful big gold rock in front of it. Always admire that when I drive.
Is it really made of gold?
You know, I've been wanting to go over and chip a little piece and see, I don't think it is. But maybe it is. I don't know.
You know, it's hard to say.
That'd be cool.
So I'll just come out of the gate and use the prop. So Old Town is right over there on the bay in Humboldt Bay.
That's quite a prop.
Yeah, it's quite west.
Very west.
Very western. And Old Town is, Old Town's got a colorful history, right, where you're located?
That was a very colorful history.
Tell us more.
Yeah. I'm in a building that I believe was started in 1915, even though the other buildings on that block were established before. And I say that just because the old maps of like 1900, 1905, 1910 show like some chicken coops there and just like what looks like a little wheat field. So I'm kind of figuring it's about 1915. Kathleen would know if you wanted to ask her. But it's a really interesting building. It used to be a furniture store, I believe. It was the site of Rendezvous Vending, used to store their stuff in there. There was a skating rink on the top floor. And I don't really know much about that transition, what happened as it went through those different things. But 1978, I believe, is when Russ started it. Yeah. And he was already in the music business space before that. He'd actually be a good guest for you, but he was gigging at the time. And I believe he had his first business, I think he started in 75 or 76 up the street.
Yeah.
And they were in a really small one-room deal where I think the back wall was on wheels. So if he had a lot of inventory, he could push the wall back. And if he sold a bunch, he could move the wall forward. So it's all about merchandising. It's always about merchandising.
It's presentation, man.
Presentation's a
Just
huge
move
part
that
of
wall.
it.
Blow the walls out.
Exactly. So we took over. Kip had put up a bunch of fake walls because he was just going for kind of a different vibe. We tore all the walls down. I think within 6 months, we tore down like 7 walls in the store. So we really opened it up, and we were all about a business model of a lot of accessories. The meat. We always said the meat potatoes of what musicians want.
I can't wait to get my joke in here. Tear down the wall, Mr. Gorbachev.
There it is.
Mr. Mantova.
Exactly right. But it was a really good move. And we've always had that focus on moving a lot of accessories and just making sure that we're viable to as many people as possible, not just in Humboldt, but up and down the highway from Portland to San Jose. We've always had that focus, and everything kind of stems from that.
So would a lot of traveling musicians pop in and
a ton.
First name basis?
Yeah, first name basis with a lot of them. I have an incredible memory that I worked on getting. And so I remember things 5, 6, 10 years back. And so when they come in, I remember them. I remember what they did, a conversation we had. I'm really good about that.
Do you remember the Reuben sandwich I bought you to get you into B&I?
That's why I'm here.
Oh.
I only go where I'm fed, obviously. Yeah. I mean, look at me. Right? You don't get 300 pounds by eating sushi or something.
There could be some Dick Taylor chocolate in this. Tanzania, I'm going to eat that one.
Woo!
You haven't earned it yet. We'll see about you. The jury's out. So that Reuben sandwich is all a cheap date.
It really is sad, but yeah, food gets you places.
Hey, man.
We became a grocery store, a low-level grocery store 5 years ago. We brought on Mantova Foods, as they say in Italy, Mantova. And so we sell incredible Italian cuisine, high-end gnocchi, great olive oils.
In the store, in the music store?
In the music store.
Is it put in the, I bet in a couple times not too long ago, but
I would never I would never, ever hide exquisite gourmet Italian cuisine. It's right up front by the front counter where I can point at it and say, by the way, get some pasta.
I'm pretty embarrassed now. I probably haven't been in for a minute, but hey, that's okay.
But after COVID, we learned it was a good idea to be a grocery store. And so the first year that we did it in 2020, we did $10,000 of food sales, which blew my mind. I thought it was just going to be a fun thing. Hey, this Mantova Foods is the same as my last name. I'll just roll with that.
So it is all branded?
This is all branded.
Oh.
Mantova Brothers in 1905 started a food company.
In Italy?
In Italy.
Is that where you ship from?
And that's where we ship from. That's where we did it.
Not via America. Well, I guess it goes via America.
It sits in Illinois for a while, but it is direct from Italy. And it's the European food standard. So there's no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. It's real food, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Me too.
Kind of a controversy now, but real food is the best way to go. I know so many people that are getting older and their health isn't there because they don't eat right?
Jeez.
I'm not going to get on that soapbox, but it's for my own health too. It saves me so many trips to the grocery store. I can just walk out in front of my counter and grab a bag of my own pasta.
It's gnocchi for dinner.
And gnocchi is a beautiful thing.
Oh man, so good.
And it never expires. I mean, we pull it by the expiration date, which is 10 months, but everything, this was why the family did it.
Mm-hmm.
I am going somewhere with this. Scott's really worried that I'm just going to go on this food rampage. But where I'm going is the reason it worked out was any food that expires, the family buys. There's zero waste.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I've got probably 40 bags of gnocchi at home that didn't get sold on time.
Technically it expires, but never really expires.
It's freeze-dried. It's good for
Where's it going to go? Yeah.
It's going to go in my belly eventually.
I was getting in trouble for eating the dated stuff at home. This isn't bad.
People are weird about that. Some people will go crazy if they look at a label, and it's because they're just programmed to think a certain way.
Right.
And
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Does it smell and taste good? I think it's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Arguably, you might lose a little flavor, but it's a win-win to.
So we had a pre-wedding party at our house, and we roasted up about a dozen chickens in the oven.
Oh, incredible!
And somehow, I don't know how this happened, frankly, because there was a lot of people involved. They were there the next morning, cold, and my daughter goes, "I think these would be fine. They smell great."
They were left out all night
in the oven, and Joni goes, "Clea, no, in a million years you're not touching those.
No, that's different. You don't eat that.
That's just death.
That's a bad idea. You have a really bad time doing that.
That's a really bad. That's not a good time.
Audience, please use discretion on this. Please don't just take what we're saying and just eat anything expired. Make sure it's safe first.
Yeah, don't listen to
disclaimer
us.
There.
But,
I don't want to get sued.
It's a free world. Do what you want, man. So, Old Town, Eureka. Yeah. We got a lot of history here.
Yes, we do.
And we'll go back into Russ and we'll move forward from there. But
sure.
You're in the part of town which, I saw some photos of the 60s even. It was Old Town, it sucked, man. It was still pretty rough, right? Then they got all that retro money and they fixed it up in the early 70s maybe.
Well, here's the thing. I'm in my 40s. I wasn't even around in the 60s.
Right.
I have to lean on
stories.
Well, I have to lean on the wizened, seasoned citizens like yourself to keep me on track for how things were in the 60s.
I'm here for you. But I came in 78 from San Diego. What do I know?
Oh, okay.
So they did pay attention.
You're a newbie. You're not 100% Humboldt. You're 78% Humboldt.
I'm 100% Iowa.
Okay. Incredible.
It's already here on my map. Oh, wait.
No, it's interesting because obviously on the one hand, people are telling me, they're always asking me, how are things going down there? Mm-hmm. And it's a very open-ended question with a very direct expectation of what I'm going to say. Right. But anywhere you live, there's good, bad, and ugly, and you learn it when you're in that environment and you deal with it.
Right.
Obviously, I've tried to deal with it in a few different ways over the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
But where I'm going with this is when we first took over, I had such bigger problems with the criminal element, let's just say, than I do today.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are things that people just have forgotten about. Right out front of the store in the morning at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., I called them drug buses. When we first took over, there'd be these vans that would just pull up in front of the store and literally like a taco truck, they would just hand the drugs out the window.
What?
And
For free?
Well, I don't think so. Uh-huh. I think there was some kind of illicit financial arrangement.
It's the ice cream man.
But I had to work with Officer Goodale, you remember him? I had to work with some of the police to get those drug buses just moved down the street. Obviously, everybody knows they're going to do business, but you can't do it in front of a family store. You can't do it in front of a family-friendly store where kids are going in for music lessons. They can't do that. So we got the drug buses moved, and it took quite a while to get those buses moved.
Huh.
That's way worse than what I'm dealing with now.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Eureka PD, I think, has come a long way in some respects. They've got staff that really know how to work with some of the worst of the criminal drug addicts and keep them moving.
Mhm.
So we're happy about that. There are good things to point to. There is progress.
Sure.
But on the other hand, is the problem getting worse with the homeless? Absolutely, yes.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, we're
It's the
downtown.
numbers.
Yeah, it's and they're talking about it at city council chambers, and so it's kind of
Well, the city council came and decided to make the outdoor camping a misdemeanor. They can't even agree on that. And it's like, you're not going to convince anybody to stop their illicit camping if you can't even give them a misdemeanor offense.
Right.
Anything less than that is just a, hey, buddy, move on.
Right.
And hey, buddy, moves on are okay, but not like this. There's no triage. There's no, like John Shelter wants to do, there's no going in there and actually addressing, hey, here's your criminal drug addicts, here's your mentally ill, and then here's your little group that really could just go talk to Brian at the rescue mission and get help.
Right.
Nobody will produce the unique solutions each of the three groups needs.
Right.
Not that you're here to talk with me about that.
No, absolutely.
It's easy to go down these
No, it's
topics.
it's a great topic because
Well, it affects everybody.
well, it's one of
Especially
those.
me.
It's one of those like the abortion issue or gun control or homelessness or healthcare. It's like we all get it. It's all an issue. You get it because you're right in the you're kind of a little bit in the heart of it.
Yeah.
But I love the way that you creatively dealt with it. My perception is that you shoo people along and, hey, there's kids here. You go. Victor Green used to do it at In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Was it?
He's a great guy. He's the first mayor of Arcade, and now he's my age.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's 59. It's crazy.
Well, if anybody wants to know, I wrote a book on it, available on Amazon. It's called The Merchant Defense Course.
Oh, really?
And it's very straightforward. It's a great book. And basically what it is it's for merchants like myself.
Mhm.
It has sold not hundreds of copies because there's not very many people that are actually going to buy this. But what's special about the book is if you're running a business and you need to deal with the criminal drug addicts, the homeless, which are two different things, it actually breaks down what you can legally do, and it takes what you can do and breaks it into three functions: policy, policy, physical, and verbal. Tricks, strategies, things that work to humanely deal with the problem.
That's cool.
And I map it out. I go step by step, and because I've put in the work, and I started working on this book in 2016.
Wow, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Wow.
And I just added little bits to it, and I'm still working on it. But there is an edition that's available because I wanted to get it out there. It all started when Eureka Police, one of them said to me, "Hey, you've got all of these tricks for keeping them out of your store and doing it peacefully. Okay. Can you just put it in writing and teach other merchants?" And that's what sparked it. It was actually the EPD. And so I just started working on it, and now it's available. And there will be another edition coming, and I'm hoping to add like 75 pages to it because I've got new ideas, and I want to, some of it just needs a little bit more description, but that is available on Amazon Kindle.
Really?
Yeah.
So printed copies.
No, it's e-copies.
It's an e-copy. Okay.
Yeah. They need more pages. They need a little bit different layout to do paperback, and that's going to be next.
What's it called? KDB Press. They have their own division.
Right. That's
exactly
how I printed,
right. That's why I printed this one, which was their old WordPress.
Oh, very cool
format.
I remember when that book came out. You actually sold a lot of copies.
I think dozens.
Yeah.
I remember my first bad review, and I'm telling my son, "Jacob, what do I do?" And he goes, "You got 9 good ones, great ones. You got 1 bad one. That's good because you want a 4.9. You don't want a 5.0 because otherwise it's BS."
So many marketing firms pay for reviews, and everyone kind of instinctively knows it, I think.
Yeah.
So you do need a few black eyes, so to say. But how do you do with reviews? Does it bother you? Does it talk to your soul, or does it bounce off you?
I think I'm kind of a review wimp. I don't like a bad review. What it really pisses me off is the lying sack of crap review that I don't know this person.
Yeah.
They live in Reading. We've never done business. We have track records for 100 years of business, people that we've insured at where insurance. And it's really crazy because that's just a freaking lie. And, and Yelp is the chief culprit of social media of propagating I guess poop heads and trolls and people that somehow get their jollies from ripping on your business.
The best thing that you can do to build that muscle of really not caring is to run for office. I've been wanting you to run for some office in Eureka for a long, long time. And I even, I think I talked to one of your coworkers.
But I live in McKinleyville. I can't do this. But I could move.
Yeah, you could run for county soup. You'd be a great county soup. You'd be
I'll run against,
fantastic.
what's her name?
You watch how quick this video is going to get canceled.
Is it Mary Burke? Is that her name? She's running. Actually,
I heard that, yeah.
We're talking about having her as a guest.
Oh, that'd be great.
Let's just make it a debate.
Great. All for it.
Just kidding. No, I wouldn't.
No, you'd be fantastic. You really would.
Thank you. I just, it would probably kill me. But
I would watch every debate you do, and we would laugh and scrap, and maybe sometimes we'd even turn the sound on.
Hilarious. Yeah, no, I'd be great. What happened to all Scott's hair? So weird. I used to know when he had hair. So yeah, history. So Old Town, Eureka's got this 200 years, 150 years of history.
Yeah.
You're part of town. Wasn't there, is there still an art studio upstairs, Anthony?
Yes, there's still an art studio. The incredible Augustus is up there. And sometimes he's very loud because he's just passionate about his painting. You'll hear things flying, and I don't know what's going on up there, but he does incredible work if you're into that kind of art. And it's not just him. I think there's 5 or 6 art studios up there.
Right.
And there's been a whole bunch of different artists up there over the years.
Yeah.
And we actually rent 3 different sections of the building. And so our warehouse is by the stairwell back there. And so we hear people running up and running back down. And it's very busy, especially as you get close to Arts Alive, which is still a thing. Arts Alive is kind of like their big payday, because the public can come up the stairs.
Check it out.
At least they used to be able to. I haven't been to one in a while. But the public used to be able to go up there, hope I'm still right about that, and see the art and buy it and help pay the rent,
Yeah, pay the rent.
Yeah,
Who owns that building?
Kathleen Krause.
Krause.
Yeah.
I know that name. Is Elizabeth Behringer, was that her name? That did the wire sculptures, the giant horse.
Oh, yeah.
Remember her?
Yeah, I do.
I think she may have maybe gone, but I
haven't thought of that name in a long time.
Super good artist.
Yeah. We've had some real talent come through. We really have. And that's one thing that if anybody will just, I get a lot of people looking for jobs, a lot of people looking for work, not just now, but all the time. But it's definitely ramped up. And if I get a clue that they've got an artisanal ability that they can actually make things, the water's warm right now to jump into music retail creation. There are so many different products that locals could make that I would buy. And some of these things, like hand pans, we need somebody to make, the big, they look like a UFO and you beat on them, hand pans. Those can sell for $2,000 to $8,000.
Wow.
And for a few years now, I've just been looking for somebody locally to make them. Each one's about 40 hours of work to build. So it's not, it's work. But it's like there's so many things that locals could be building.
Wow.
Now, you don't just have to rely on a job. There's so many ways to make money.
How about the guys up in Arcata that make xylophones? The
marimba one?
Yeah, marimba.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Wait, they're making marimbas. Yeah. But they could make a handpan.
They could.
Do you know Steve Cole, one of the owners?
I've heard the name. I don't think I've met him.
He's partners with, I think, Ron.
Very cool.
I don't know if you know those guys. Steve actually started Yakima and Adventure's Edge. He's Coquetet. He's
very cool.
Steve Cole, shout out. What's up, Steve? So
there's a lot of people I know by face, but I don't have all the names down.
So you're right next to the Mission. So Brian and the crew.
Oh, yeah. Brian moved in there after we took over, and Brian's been an incredible partner. He really has.
He's a good man. Brian Hall, shout out to Brian.
Yeah, Brian's legit. Does a lot of really good work down there.
Good guy, man. Really big, deep respect for those guys. So let's go back to Russ. So Russ was the former Grand Poobah.
That's right.
And funny story about Russ. When I worked in newspaper, remember this thing called a newspaper?
Yeah.
It was made out of paper.
I remember those,
Nick, do you recall that? Nick's got his monitor where I can't see him now. So my fifth wall is gone.
Do you let people know that he sleeps back there?
I don't say a thing.
He's asleep right now.
Is he? No way.
I hope he's recording. I don't even know if he's recording.
Nick. Okay. So, in the newspaper days, Russ would do a little one column by 6-inch ad, and so would Brooks up at Wildwood Music in Arcata, which is top of the bay in Arcata.
Yeah, I think I know where it's at.
You hang out with those guys, right?
I go in once in a while.
Is Sean still around?
Time.
Or did he?
I think it's Errol running the place.
It's Errol, yeah. Remember Sean? Mike Mateus? Anyway, you remember Brooks Otis?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Brooks, he'd have, 10 Martin guitar. would cram the set.
Sure.
And Russ would do these creative things like, just weird, 5 words in this one column, and it got him, and he'd do a new one every week.
Really?
And he just paid, it's cheap ad.
Yeah.
But he would do this, rather than list instruments, he would do this other esoteric Zen campaign, quotes, cool quotes.
Interesting. And that worked.
I think it worked good. Yeah, he stayed with it. It was, cheap enough.
See, my problem is I don't have the creative ability to do that. I'm so literal. The most literal guy you'll ever know is me. And so it's hard for me to write ads that are creative like that. My ads are incredibly boring.
Yeah. So speaking of your dad, it's Lindy, right?
Yeah, Lindy. Don't call him Cindy.
I would do that. And I want to talk about guests that have come through the store. But before I do that, if you're just joining us, this is the pregnant pause break. If you're just joining us, it's me, Scott Hammond, with 100% Humboldt, here in Humboldt County, California, with my new best friend, the man, the myth, the legend, the great Anthony Mantova. And he is my guest. And we're talking about his experience in Eureka, in Old Town, at 2 Street Music, and former owners, and moving forward to your dad. So your dad's musical accordion legend and DJ, right?
Is. Yeah, he's incredible.
Kids radio DJ for a minute?
Yeah, news guy.
He's the news. He read news.
Yeah, reading the news, because DJ is a little different thing. DJ, you're doing music beds and you're doing the weather and all this other stuff in the old radio thing. No, I wouldn't call him a DJ, a news anchor. So he's
a news anchor.
Yep. I did it first in 2002, I think.
That's right. I think I remember that.
Doing the summer job kind of thing. And Hugo hired me, Hugo was incredible. And Hugo and Brian. And I did that for a little while. And then I went off to college. And at the time, there was a lot of turmoil in our family because in no small part due to Canadian tariffs, the milk business was not doing so hot. And so we sold...
You guys dairy people?
We were dairy people.
I didn't even know this. Tell me, where's the farm?
Yeah, that's part of why we work so hard. The family is based in Carlotta. It's actually Hydesville, California, right there by Yager Creek. And I forget the name of the guy, but the guy that originally founded it as a farm was not a Mantova. He was an eccentric millionaire in the year 1900. And there's been some interesting research on the guy, but he came over from wherever he came from, and he invested a ton of money in our neck of the woods. And so our old barns have these old advanced pulley systems that were state-of-the-art for their time. And because redwood was super-duper cheap and everywhere, these incredible barns that we have on the property were that old-growth redwood. Because back then, nobody was hugging trees. There was no forest maintenance or anything. If there was a tree, it was going to be turned into a table or a barn or something. And so, incredible, or a home, and so there's some incredible buildings out there that were state-of-the-art for their time, and they're still standing to this day.
Right.
We don't know what the pulleys and things do because he showed up in a rush, built all this stuff, and then he disappeared in a rush. He was a bulb farmer, and I still don't think anybody knows where he went or why, but he went away. And Mantovas were highlighted recently at the Clark Museum during the Prohibition era. One or two of my family from back then might have been making too much wine, going past the wine limits, had a rough time in Eureka, and moved to Hydesville and took over that spot.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's kind of where the family has been
This would be
ever since.
Lindy's dad, your grandpa?
Yeah. His grandpa, actually, I'm third generation, so it would be his grandpa was involved. He was born in 22, I think. So it would be his relatives that were part of leaving Eureka during the Prohibition era thing.
Got it.
Yeah. So he was too young to really be involved in that. But what people don't realize about Prohibition is it's not as if alcohol was illegal and then it became legal and everything was fine. No, when you make a big change by amendment at the federal level, all of the state and local rules don't just go away.
Right.
It takes time. And so my family basically got treated pretty roughly by the laws that were still on the books.
Wow.
That's not cool. And so I kind of like the idea that now, 100 years later or whatever, we're back.
We made the comeback.
Took us a comeback. Took a little while.
How long was Prohibition? Any idea? It wasn't a full 10 years.
No, but it was long enough to mess up the country.
In the 20s, or late 20s maybe?
Oh, wow.
Nick will look it up.
Jeopardy here. I don't remember. Yeah. It's been too long.
Yeah, but all the gin joints and
all the speakeasies and all that stuff. Incredible bit of history.
And all the South, man. They made all the White Lightning stuff.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah.
Shout out to the South. Hey, so tell me more about who's wandered in the music store over the years that's interesting, that would be of note, or Leonardo DiCaprio when he's making a movie, or
we have had a few A-listers.
People that were playing or just traveling?
No, always traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you were going to ask this. This is one of those things. It's not like it's a big secret or anything, but I don't like to give the artist names.
Okay.
Because it's like there are some places where artists go and they just get hassled because they know they can't just go buy a pack of strings.
Right.
Instead, let me get a picture with you, autograph.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that.
So you could reveal a name if it wasn't local, couldn't you?
I could tell you off air.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it on here.
How about Captain Beefheart in Trinidad? Not saying, okay. It was interesting. He did a really terrible set on SNL on Saturday Night Live.
Right.
I just saw that in the history. It's like whoever cast him, like they went on with this crazy, loud, nutty, weird song. The captain, he lived up in Trinidad, as I understand.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I met
an incredible guy in Trinidad just today.
Huh.
His name is, I can say this, it's last name is Lockett. I just met him. Oh shoot. You look up his IMDb,
mm-hmm.
His Hollywood profile. He did a whole bunch of scoring for big shows, their music,
mm-hmm.
all the way back to 1997.
That's cool.
And I'm blanking on his first name. I just met him. But what's really cool about this guy is he lives in Trinidad, and he is staying, and he wants to open the studio up to artists.
Cool.
And he's going to start working with locals if it's a good fit. Yeah. And he's also going to start guitar repair.
Huh.
And he's going to do some light violin repair too. And we just had a good discussion
up in town?
Up in Trinidad.
That's cool.
So we had a really good discussion about what that actually looks like and how much business I could send him. And so far it's going really well. He's going to be sending me some more info. But yeah, we have a world-class studio right under our nose. There's so many things like that up here.
Right.
But he is going to get more public. And any serious bands that aren't going to waste his time, please call me and I'll put you in touch.
And you know Paul Beatty from The Steeple, right?
Of course, yeah.
So Paul's tell us about that studio out yonder toward wherever in the hills. That's supposed to.
Do you know my history with that?
Was
in 2021, I started a company, me and Justin, called Noble House Studios, and it was exactly around for 1 year. And I worked so dang hard to get the funding to buy that place.
Justin Hobart?
No, Grimaldo.
Okay.
But we worked it's not. There's not that much I can get into, but the fact is we worked really hard for a year to get the funding to get that place. And it would have been amazing if we had pulled that off.
It's world-class studio.
They want too much money.
Yeah.
$6 million.
Is it still
Give
there?
me a break.
Does it still exist?
It still exists.
Huh.
I have no idea what the state of it is, but I've been there once or twice and it's incredible. It really could have been something. Wow. And it's just, in life you try things.
Yeah.
And I have failed at so many more things than I've tried. And this was one of my many failures, but I learned a ton from it, and I have zero regrets about trying.
Hey, man.
It would have been really cool, though.
Watch what you pray for, because, you might get it, and that would be terrible.
What's that saying? Terry used to say it, man plans and God laughs.
That's a good one.
It's a good classic, right?
No matter where you go, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's keep those up.
Exactly.
We go back and forth all day. So let's go from your pedigree from school. So you went to elementary school here?
Yeah, went from this is where I hope I'm 100% Humboldt. Went to Hydesville Elementary, and then graduated to Fortuna High.
Nice.
And then I did College of the Redwoods for 1 year, and then I just needed to change. And like I said, that was a very tough time for the family. It was it was tough because of transitions. I think the cows were all sold by the time I was 16. So my whole life, 16 and before, was very heavy on the dairy work. People that don't know really don't know. It's like those cows have to get fed, calves morning and night.
365,
no
which
vacations.
Equals 700, 800 and some odd milkings.
And without that work, I don't think I could do what I do today. Huh. You know what I mean? But it was too much. It was too much. And it got to the point where by the time I was of that age, I wanted nothing to do with agriculture. I hated it. I was like, I got to get the heck out of here. So I went to Hillsdale, Michigan, Hillsdale College.
Wow.
Incredible school. It was really good for me. I was a transfer student from CR. They didn't take very many of my credits because, their standards way higher. Love College of the Redwoods, but,
What's Hillsdale? I've heard of it.
Hillsdale.
What's it known for?
If you're looking at the map of Michigan, it's right there.
Is it? What's it? Is it small Midwest liberal arts?
Small Midwest liberal arts. It's basically the Harvard for conservative-minded people.
Okay.
Conservative-minded people.
I think we had some friends whose kid went there.
Yeah. What people don't understand, though, is people hear what I just said and they think, it's there's no diversity.
Right.
You couldn't get more diverse because when you go there, you do have a few liberals, but what you actually have is you have anarcho-capitalists, you have the Milton Friedman people, you've got the party type, Republican type people.
Right.
That's actually incredibly diverse, and they argue all night long.
About
and they
everything.
have crazy parties, and they have a good time over there, and it's a wild place. Animal House actually was Hillsdale director.
Oh, really?
The guy went to Hillsdale.
That's funny.
So they've got that background. They got the pedigree for it. But no, it's an incredible school, incredible teachers. I had Victor Davis Hanson for a teacher. You know him. He's an incredible historian on Greek stuff. But I was a political science major, and I was a music. I was a classics minor with a focus on Latin. And then I might as well have been a music minor because I was always in the music building. You know, I've always been a music kid, you know.
Yeah.
Tenor sax was my instrument.
All those conservative musicians.
Yep. We're out there. Going to a place like that, you have to defend your point of view. Right. So it's like, and I find myself doing that now as an adult. It's not an echo chamber, is my point. You're challenged on everything. You really are. And
we should be.
You should be.
Why not? And that's a far cry from the division that we give a lot of press to. And I just decided on this show, hey, we're all divided. You know what? There's some division, but we're not. No. But fundamentally, I think there's goodwill among men and women. And I've watched it. I mean, we went to Boise, Idaho. I've traveled. I mean, if somebody's kid falls, I mean, everybody wants to help.
You know humanity when you see it.
Yeah. And it's not missed on me. And I think if you're looking for it, you're going to see it. And I think that that myth of, hey, yeah, we're done for, and that's just BS.
It's just noise. You know, everyone needs to edit themselves, though. Like I have things that I do to edit myself to make sure that I don't get locked in an echo chamber. I turned off mass media years ago. I called it deprogramming, a detox, media detox. I did that, and it was one of the best things ever. I consume so little media. Like 1% of my day is media.
Cool. Including social media?
Social media. Yes, actually. I do very little Instagram anymore, but that's more recent because I have this goal. By the time I'm your age, I want to have 1,000 different sources of income. This is a real goal of mine. 1,000 different sources. Well, sadly, that involves social media. So there are certain apps I use that make money, and I learn them, and my goal is to have 1,000 different incomes, and that definitely involves quite a few different apps that make me money.
It sounds like a lot of money.
Well, it dribbles in here and there. There might be something that I get started that might be a few pennies a day. Then there might be some other things that are the occasional $20 burst. But my way of looking at it is I'm staying in California. I'm staying here where things are tricky, and anything can happen. Every day is different. You know, when I go to work, it's not your regular job. Anything can happen. To give you an idea, I can have 3 phone calls at once. I can have 2 different trade deals, and I can have one person that just wants to buy strings and talk about strings. And then I can have a criminal drug addict come in and want to go play guitars, and his hands are full of,
whatever.
I have to deal with all that at once.
Wow.
All the time. And it bounces off on me because I have that muscle. I put in the work. I do it every day. And so my point is, because I've really come to learn just how every day is a gift, every day you wake up is a gift, because I know that, and I know it can be taken away very quickly, I want to have as many different sources of income as possible. And anybody that, when people come in, I ask, how's your day? And they say, oh, same old, same old. I'm looking at them, I'm like, how? There's so much to do.
Yeah.
How can it be same old, same old? There's so many ways to make money. And if you're creative, there's so many creative things you can do too.
And take care of people.
That's a really good thing. And I do that a lot. I'm always trying to identify what people are trying to do and help them out. A lot of the people that are coming in to look for jobs, this is the typical conversation. Hey, are you hiring? No, not now. What do you want to do? Because in my mind, I'm thinking maybe I can find them some employment.
Good for you.
And then they look at you. I do this all the time. Then they look at you and they say, I'll do anything. Well, the problem is I'll say, if you can't think of anything, I can't think of anything. So then we talk a little bit about what they actually want to do.
I want to be a brain surgeon.
Yeah. And right. And so it's like I'm always trying to find people jobs and help people because that's what you should do.
It's the referral thing. I love it. And that harkens back to BNI Business Networking.
Which started with that Reuben sandwich.
With the,
the
Reuben, the famous Reuben. So you went to Hillsdale, then came back home?
Yeah, I did. Well, no, actually. I went to Hillsdale, and like a lot of people at that age, I was probably over the top looking back. Hindsight's 20/20. I was so scared of getting locked in a career because back then, I'm jumping around a little bit, but I was just really scared about getting locked in a career, which when you go to college and you graduate, the first thing you should do is get locked in a career to get the income so that you can pay your bills and do things. But I was a little too flighty for that. So I immediately took a job with the Leadership Institute, Morton Blackwell's firm in Arlington, Virginia.
Wow.
And I was a field rep. I was a field rep for Oregon, Montana, Idaho, and Washington State. And all that really means
Mountain states, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of driving. And I would go to the schools and try to start trouble, try to start organizations, find the leaders. I worked with like James O'Keefe, he's very, very big deal now. I didn't work with him directly in the field, but we knew each other, and it was incredible seeing him make it. He's fearless. He's incredible.
Remind me who he is, what he does.
He started off at Rutgers University. He was a Lucky Charms kid. What he did was he patented, I still don't really know how he does it. I mean, I kind of do, but he patented the hidden camera before it was mainstream. And so what he did was he got a meeting with the dean of the school at Rutgers, and he formed a fake group called Irishmen for America or something. And basically his little group of Irishmen were trying to appeal to have Lucky Charms banned from the cafeteria because it's offensive to Irish people. It was a joke, but the dean fell for it. And it's still on YouTube. It's an incredibly funny video. Guys like him, my job was to find guys like him. Well, in reality, there's only a few guys like him.
Right.
But I did make some great connections. I did a few things behind the scenes that I'm really proud of in the political sphere. So I did that for a term, and then I was the rep for California and Nevada. And that term was nowhere near successful. It's way more expensive to live.
Sure.
There were some operational things. But then I took an office job. They hired me to work in the office in Arlington. So I moved. Again, it was on a whim. A lot of these decisions I made are very impulsive.
Is that Dallas Metroplex? Arlington?
Yeah, it's Arlington is it's just outside of DC.
I'm sorry, the other. I apologize. I'm in Texas.
Oh yeah, no, not.
Is that where the Rangers play?
Right. Well, I was thinking like Dulles Airport. No, we're south.
You're in
DC.
DC.
Of that.
Got it.
I was there for 2006, 2007, and then
great opportunity back east.
Huge opportunity, and I was there for about a year in the office, and then I ended up working a few odd jobs, and then I finally found what if I still really wanted it, I found the perfect job. It was contracting with Dr. Donald Devine. Dr. Donald Devine was Reagan's swift, terrible sword. He was the director of OPM, the Office of Personnel Management. And what people don't understand is that we have fired a bunch of bureaucrats before. We've gone through this before. We went through it with Don Devine. And he fired so many people. He fired 100,000, I believe.
Oh, geez.
Federal workers in the 80s.
Wow.
And what Reagan told him was, I want you to fire lots of people and make the remaining ones work harder. That was his orders. And he did. He was so effective that in 84, they would not reconfirm him.
Wow.
Just a little history bit. I worked for him for a year, and we taught something called the Federalist Leadership School, because by training, he wasn't even really an employment guy. He is a professor of political history, of not political economics. I forget it's been 20 years since I thought of this, but he basically teaches when I was working with him, he was teaching a class about leadership principles for people that wanted to get into politics. And we took it on the road. We did a few things in DC, but we did classes in like Kansas. I don't know if we made it out to California, but we did the Midwest quite a bit. A lot of the Midwest. And it was just a crazy time in my life because I barely had any money, and I might look at my bank account and be like, okay, I got $200 and I need to drive to Ohio, but I'd find a way to do it.
Nice.
I did crazy stuff like that back then.
How many folks do you think Trump's fired so far?
Not enough. There's so many more that need to go. Look at the amount of embezzlement, the waste, fraud, and abuse.
It was set you up on that one.
We're just getting started.
Do you think he's done 100,000 jobs yet?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you count the contractors.
There must be a number.
Yeah, it's at least 100,000.
Yeah.
But the problem is much bigger. Bigger now.
We're a bigger nation. We're bigger everything. Did you know the guy that lived locally? So back to Reagan. Yeah. He got Nancy and Ron to run. He was a local guy,
Peter,
author. Yes.
Yeah.
Great guy. Had lunch with him a couple times. Because you know me, I'll just have Reuben sandwich with anybody.
Oh, yeah, exactly right. Hope he bought it though that time. You didn't buy him a sandwich, did you?
I'm pretty sure he bought lunch.
He can afford his own sandwich.
What a great guy.
He was a really good guy. He popped in like twice in the music store, and I got to talk to him a little bit.
Peter, shoot. I just met somebody.
I have one of his books at home. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Or just met somebody that knew him, and Bill Barnum knows him.
Yeah. Well, Bill knows everybody. Bill's local royalty.
No, he does know everybody. And you and I know every other buddy.
It's truth.
Buddy. Hey, it's that time of the show. If you're just joining me, I'm here with my new best friend, Anthony.
I feel like we didn't cover any local history at all.
Oh, well, maybe we'll do it.
We're having fun with it.
Hey, well, we're going to make some history.
Good deal.
All right. Hey, on the quiz show part where you could win a fabulous Dick Taylor.
That is a big bar.
Tanzania bar, 65% dark chocolate, folks. And you know what's cool about this? Besides getting a buzz when you eat the chocolate, a nice whatever that is, endorphin thing, like 140 calories.
How'd they do that?
I don't know how. It's just sugar and...
They're not doing that Splenda thing, are they?
No.
Better be real sugar.
Careful. These guys are your neighbors, man. Huckleberry Flint's not going to buy their strings anymore from you.
Make big trouble.
Yeah.
Now that looks really delicious. I like Dick Taylor.
Obviously, you know Dustin and
I forget.
And Adam, right?
Yeah.
You know Ray Robinson plays bass?
Yeah.
Shout out to Ray.
Yeah, of course.
And the other guys, I should know them by first name. One guy works at McRae Nissan across the street, and the other guy is just the magical behind-the-scenes guitar player. He's great.
Yeah. You got to value guys like that. And that's like a lot of these folks. I don't get the names all the time, but I remember their backstory. That's what I'm good at.
Hey, you. That's our joke, Joni. Hey, you.
Yep.
You're 65. I've met a lot of people. I'm sorry. I totally know who you are. I value everything about you. But heck, if I know your name right now, you put a gun to my head, maybe I'd get lucky. But
now you can be like Old Man Perry. Once you get to 100 or even 90, I would argue, once you get to 90, you can call everybody a kid.
Hey, kid.
He'll do that. You know, if there's an 80-year-old in the store, he'll be like, hey, kid, you know. Kid. But once you get to 90, you get these special privileges.
Who's Old Man Perry? Does he work for you?
No, Perry, he's incredible. He's still alive. I couldn't believe it. I saw him the other day. Perry, back in the day, worked in the tax business. You know what I'm talking about. He was part of auditing Dianne Feinstein. That Perry. Yeah, he was amazing. Amazing man. He's still alive.
Perry Mason.
No, he might as well be. No, he's one of the best dressed people in Humboldt, skinny dude, but he's in his 90s now, and I wished him a happy birthday the other day.
What's his last name?
I knew you're going to ask me that. I'm having trouble remembering it.
I mean, hey, you.
Yeah, I've almost got it, but it's Perry for sure, the first name.
I think I know who that might be, actually.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's unforgettable. Yeah. Great guy.
Unforgettable. Hey, let's get you a chocolate bar. Ready?
Yeah.
Question number one. You have the day off. Tomorrow's Friday, and you could do whatever you want with whomever you want, and no expenses spared, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Anthony Mantova, for 10 points, what do you do with your day?
I never get a day off like that.
This is your day off. So
I know, I hear that.
You have to, we're going to hold a gun to your head on this. You have to take the day off. Actually, you have to take the question too.
I'm going to take the question. I won't dodge it.
Can you put your headphones on and then tell me some more musical people that come in?
So I've been with my gorgeous, her name's Di. I've been with her for about 7 years, almost 7 years now. So obviously I'd be hanging out with her.
Sure.
And she makes me incredible meals. I don't know if you ever go on Facebook at Humboldt Foodies. She posts her incredible meals on there every single day. And so it's so hard for us. I used to take her out fairly often, but now that she's really found her passion, which is cooking, we just don't go out as much, especially with our work schedules. We moved to Southern Humboldt. But to answer your question,
and you found your passion, which is eating.
Yeah, I have, and it's working well for me. Follow me for more tips. But tonight we're actually going to go to Gallagher's And
sweet.
they just moved back to where they belong, next to me at
the Eagle House,
on 2nd Street in the Eagle House. It's great to have them back. So her and I are going to do that. And that was actually what we would do back when we would get more days off, is we would often go to Gallagher's. That was one of our hangout spots.
Fish and chips.
Fish and chips are fantastic. We like tandoori bites quite a bit.
Yeah.
And occasionally we'll give Annie's a try too, once in a while.
Annie's good.
But that's about as far as we get. There's that burger place in Miranda that we're really interested in trying. But every time we get close to getting over there, something comes up. But we are going to get there. We're going to try that burger because everybody's been raving about it. They got like 700 reviews on Google, which is very hard for a restaurant.
That's really good.
I was really impressed by that.
For in remote Miranda.
Yeah.
What?
I think it really, like 750 views, I think. I think I'm right about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got to try that. That's on the list.
So a day with your gal and a dinner out.
Yeah. Now, typically, if I leave during a work day, I get this shock, this weird vibration because my ankle bracelet. No, I'm just kidding. But a lot of times we'll go to Ferndale. We'll do some thrifting. We like our thrift stores. But, that's how one of the fun things we used to do was thrifting. But the problem is we bought $20,000, or I'm sorry, not $20,000. We bought 20,000 comic books.
Oh.
She has an eBay business.
Oh.
And so now that she's basically set for the next 7 years for her eBay listing, we don't even go thrifting anymore because we don't need to buy more stuff. My office is full of comic books.
Really?
And it's hard to move around.
Did you buy one lot of comic books?
We actually, it was a pallet. And it was
crazy.
It was not just a pallet, it was 4 pallets.
That's a lot of pallets.
Yeah, it's 50. We don't even know how many. It's 15 to 20,000 comic books. Yeah. Somebody the other day asked me, they said, how much does that weigh? So I did the math. It's almost 2 tons.
Really?
4,000 pounds of comic books.
Is there a value in those pallets in terms of like mint condition Superman?
Well, yeah, and that's the problem is it's not like putting a CD on eBay. What you have to do is you have to go and give it a full description, but then you also have to look for if it's a key edition, which means that, like, let's say it's the Luke Cage series, but it's Spider-Man's first time ever appearing, and let's say that the Marvel Universe put him in Luke Cage first. They didn't, but let's say that they did.
Big thing.
That one edition might be worth $300.
Go figure.
So you can't just take a picture and post it. You have to do the work. And so we did the math the other day. It's going to take her 7 years to get them all listed.
Is that right? You know Don Chin?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Mr.
I used to live next to him.
Radioactive black belt hamsters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's up, Don? Don Chin. Don Chin, friend of mine.
Yeah.
He's I like that. That's really cool. So comic books. Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of thrifting, this is a thrift little item that I got. So in the Northwest and even down to San Diego, our Mormon friends, the LDS folks, have a chain of thrift stores that are as big as Kmart's or bigger.
You're talking about
Deseret Industries, the DI store. And so all good Mormons actually have a clothing day where they take all their thrift and they pick these up and they take these to these stores. You get Under Armour for $5, like $200. This is an $800 shirt, mind you.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah. I got a what's called a Hickey Freeman sport coat. They're $800. They're beautiful. Oh. And I wanted to get one out of insurance school in Irvine, and they were $800.
Wow.
DI up in Boise, that's why I love to go up there. Besides grandkids, I thrift. I never admitted this to anyone before.
Well, this is the time to confess all of your quirks.
For I have been.
Everyone's listening.
For I have been quirky. Forgive me, Father. Shandala Honda. And I got it for $8, and I feel really good about myself.
It's a great feeling when you win like that.
Oh my God! You know, it's just all the workout garb and all the.
Do you know the story about how you got that shirt on the front end, though? Have you heard this?
No. There's
an insurance guy. I believe he was in the Bay Area. He would only buy these starched collared shirts for $125 each. And this was like 20 years ago,
right?
When you were really hot on this stuff.
Tailored.
And so $125 a shirt, he wore them every day, but he would not, this is the key thing, he would not ever put them in the laundry wash. He would just give them away. Huh. And the reason he did that, he spent like, I don't know what that math is, that's $100,000 a year in shirts or something. Whatever the math is, it's not that much. $25,000, let's say, just in shirts.
Sure.
Okay, I want to get this right. But I know that they were like $125 per shirt. But he would donate each shirt after the day's use to charity. But the reason he did it was there was no other feeling in the world that he could get to go sell than to have that shirt. And then what's crazy is where does that shirt end up? It ends up with Scott Hammond. at a thrift store for $8.
Yeah. Thank you. Or at the American Cancer Society thrift store, which is not a bad thrifting experience.
He gave a lot
Shout
of
out to
people
Deb.
a lot of professional clothing.
That's cool. Now, I've seen some amazing stuff.
It's weird stuff.
Back to your quiz.
Yeah.
So you got the day off and you're going to go for a hike with your sweetheart. Where do you guys
We
go for a walk?
used to go to Headwaters because we lived close to there.
Oh, yeah.
So we used to go there. That's a great spot. It's super easy to walk. It doesn't kill your knees.
I'm going to point to it. It's right.
Let
it's right
people
over
see
there.
where it is.
Yeah, it's right there.
Back in the day, I wouldn't want you
River.
to do that because I want it to be a secret. But now I don't make it down there anymore.
Yeah.
I have to always be by phone and stuff. But that's a great walk. Obviously, Patrick's Point's amazing. Fern Canyon's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since I've been up there. You can't go wrong with any redwood trail. Like I can't think of one bad redwood trail. So that'd be my vote. Would be Headwaters.
Yeah. It turns out Jody just hiked Fern Canyon, and you need the permit after. Did you say May, honey? I forget. So there's a permitting process now for that for the busy season.
Okay.
Or maybe it's after May, but she said
why are they doing that?
Because it just got crowded.
Gotcha.
Really crazy. That's where Mr. Hamm and his wife were attacked by a mountain lion. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I actually got to meet him after the attack at Starbucks. The attack wasn't at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Months later, he was having a coffee.
Right.
And he had the scar, like this crazy scar.
Oh, wow. He's lucky to be alive.
The cub peeled his head back, and his wife grabbed a freaking pen and stabbed this animal until it went away.
Wow.
And she used her shirt as a tourniquet. So when they find him and her, the CCC crew, she's in her bra and they got mud all. They don't know what happened to those two, but they made Discovery Channels, and it's a pretty good story.
I didn't know. I mean, I knew about the attack. I didn't know it like that.
Pretty heavy, pretty good story, good Samaritan story. There was a party that passed them by first. Anyway, I digress. Hey, question number 3.
Yes.
What do you like to listen to? What kind of music generally would be a semi go-to for top 3 or 5 genres that you would?
I've changed so much over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing that I listened to in the past, and I listen to everything I listened to in the past too, but I've just changed musically. College, Tower of Power, I discovered. I was really into them a big time. I think I owned all their albums. Certainly the Warner Brothers, the early years, I was all about that. A lot of the big band stuff. After that, just because I played a lot in bands. I listened to a lot of jazz at that time because I was really trying to get my artistic chops up. I don't listen to jazz much anymore, honestly. Don't even listen to Tower of Power much anymore. I do a lot of podcasts now that I listen to. Not a whole lot of music in my life just because I'm at the store. But what is really cool, and I should have brought some of them with me, is I'm always getting CDs from local artists.
Oh, yeah.
And what's his name? Jeff Scolari dropped me off a CD the other day. And then Steve Fox down in Shelter Cove, his little band dropped me off a CD this morning.
That's cool.
So I've always got local stuff to listen to. And I am always accepting those CDs, and I will follow you on Spotify if you're a local artist. So I have a really interesting list of people on there, and I like how it just randomly selects one of them,
That's cool.
So, I'm not really on any one genre.
So there's ways to support the local guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're doing anything local, whether it's a podcast or an artist on Spotify or Apple or whatever, I'll watch you. Even if I'm not like a big raving fan, at least I'll give you the follow.
Are you going to watch this?
This?
Do you already follow?
I do follow
Spotify?
Scott Hammond.
Yeah.
You want to see the proof?
No, I don't. I trust you implicitly.
I just want that candy bar.
Yeah, you're really working.
No, I watched you talk with Fred Moore.
Yeah.
I watched that one.
Yeah.
And then I've watched a few of your other ones too. I talked to your one with Food for People.
Oh, yeah.
And
with David Reed. And
yeah. That was good. It was good stuff.
Great. Fred Moore is fun. He's a great guy. You probably know Fred from way back.
I think so.
So before we sign off, and we're going to talk about your legacy, what you like to be known for and remembered for.
Wow.
So I'm preempting your commercial, your answer. It wouldn't be right to not talk about the problems the challenges that we're facing as not just Eureka, but Humboldt and maybe the state. And what do you see? Bill Barnum surprised me. It's not a rosy future, dude. We're not building homes. He goes, it was designed to happen 30 years ago. 5,000 homes. We built 2.
Yeah.
And I go, oh shit. So what do you see? What's your optimistic maybe pessimistic view of what are the key issues and solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend.
How much time do I have?
Not much.
Okay, so we'll do the very quick version. Number one, the only thing that is holding this area together is the fact that a lot of the people who bought their homes 30 to 40 years ago in the Bay Area and LA cashed in. They sold their homes. They have buku bucks. They're coming up here. They're putting our tradesmen to work. They're putting our contractors to work. They are bringing that money with them because that's all we have. Tourism is barely there. Cannabis, forget about it.
It's dead, right? Boom and bust.
Boom and bust. But here's the thing, going on the optimist side, I'm jumping ahead, but I'm going to do it anyway. Humboldt County is always boom and bust. It's been boom and bust from the beginning. It was boom and bust in the 20s, and it's boom and bust now. It will always be boom and bust.
Great point.
But here's the thing. People can do more with their time. They can find work. They can find ways to make money. If I can make money in my tiny bit of free time on all these different apps that are out there, and again, I'm happy to talk with anybody about these opportunities. I'm not soliciting myself to do that, but just if you have questions about some of the apps that you can make money with right now, I'm happy to share a few, and then you can go try it. I shared one with you the other day.
What was it, Zoom or something?
It was a Flip. I've made $115 on there since January. And I barely do much on it. But my point is, there are so many ways to make money. You don't have to be a victim of the rise and fall of Humboldt's economic roller coaster.
Or any other.
Because I got news for you. Humboldt will always be boom and bust because we're behind a redwood curtain. And so, you know, you need to eventually be a big fish in a small pond and give people goods and services and make yourself useful. Take up space and do something good and be positive, and it'll work out for you. Don't fall for the gloom and doom stuff. But Bill's not wrong. We've abandoned our general plan. The people that are in charge at City Hall, it's a disaster. It's easy to point to that. The homeless number is going up. They still are not willing to take the homeless community and break it up into the three groups, which is criminal, drug addicts, mentally ill, and those down on their luck. Each of those three groups needs a different tailored approach, which I cover in my book, and I've covered on the campaign trail till I was blue in the face.
Because you ran for city council, right?
Ran for city council, tried to clean the mess up in 2018. Didn't work out, obviously. But that doesn't mean I'm wrong. In fact, unfortunately, I'm right. And the problem still hasn't really been dealt with. And here's the thing. Here's the humanity crisis that we face with the homeless. If you treat the homeless all the same, if you treat the criminal drug addict just like the mentally ill person, well, what's going to happen is the criminal drug addicts, which make up about 80% of the homeless population, is criminal drug addicts. What they're going to do is they're going to abuse the other two groups. They're going to take all your handouts. They're going to abuse the mentally ill. They're going to abuse those down on their luck.
I've seen it.
And then they're going to invite their friends to come here and do the same. And that's what's happened to Humboldt. We have failed because of the housing first nonsense that the current group in power is trying to push. We are so far away from solving the homelessness, it's probably not going to happen in the next, I hate to put a time limit on it, the next 10 years, you're not going to have a solution for the homeless because they're not willing to look at it. So that's one big problem. The second problem is the fact that there are no really good paying jobs. And that is a problem. And that's because we let our industry die on the vine, because we have people in charge that are making really bad decisions. We've taken the fishing harbor and we had this goofy idea to have it focus on windmill assembly, which isn't going to work out at all. We already see the money leaving that. So now the fishing industry has been displaced. That was 100 jobs for the homeless and for people down on their luck that really relied on the fishing industry. Those jobs are gone. And then there's another 100 jobs from the pros that were in that space. Those jobs are gone, all because we did this head fake going into windmill production, which of course was a disaster. I was the first person to state publicly that building the offshore windmills was a dister, and I went into why.
Have they pulled that back already? Is
not officially, but they might as well. The money's not coming.
Yeah.
It's a public-private partnership. Public sort of showed up. Private never did. Forget about it. It's over.
Yeah.
What more do you need to know?
Fair enough. Yeah. No.
I can go on, but I think that's,
those are too big enough. Yeah. Wait, we're going to stay another hour.
And I did this without even getting political. This isn't left or right.
Yeah.
I have so many liberal friends. I have so many conservative friends. I would never choose my friendships based on political belief. That is the worst thing you can do, because if you choose friends on both sides of the aisle, they'll edit you. If you're wrong on something, you can discuss it and actually learn from people.
Imagine that.
Imagine that, right?
Yeah. We try to do that. Say, hey, how about your legacy? What do you want to be remembered for?
I spend so little time thinking about that. I want my tombstone. Can I talk about my tombstone, how I want this?
Exactly.
I don't want a tombstone. I want to be encased in resin in a really cool posture where you can see me.
Nice.
See-through transparent resin is a thing.
Outside of the box?
I want my family to put me in a position that they'll like me in, put me in the resin box, and then on holidays, just wheel me out. And then just put me back when you're done with me.
There's Jack Dempsey.
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony.
And as far as the tombstone, I wanted to say he did really good stuff. He helped people. He was an okay dude.
Nice.
I'd be good with that.
Hey, man, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Oh, your chocolate bar. Here.
Did I get my chocolate bar?
Ladies and gentlemen. Hey,
thank you, Scott.
Real quick shout out for Anthony Mantova's 2nd Street. Real quick, how do we find you?
Mantova's 2nd Street Music. Our website is mtsmusic.com. We push through to other sales platforms, but the best thing to do is just stop by. We're there from Tuesday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We do trade, we do services, we fix stuff. We're there for you. And just general questions, come on by.
Sweet. All right. Hey, thanks for coming. And thank you for listening. Scott Hammond, 100% Humboldt. Like us on all the platforms and YouTube. Make a comment, win a chocolate bar, and we'll see you again next week. And I was going to say like a good neighbor, but that wouldn't be appropriate.
No, that wouldn't be. But you are a good neighbor, Scott.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.